Hey, it's Joe AMoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. You ever been alone and felt that you could never be truly happy unless you had someone to share your life with? Or maybe you were in a relationship and you knew you weren't happy, but you couldn't leave? Well, if so, I want you to pay close attention because today we're going to talk about something really important, and that's love addiction. See, love addiction is no different than cocaine addiction, alcohol addiction, or sex addiction. It's an addiction to something that you use in order to feel good. And you use that vehicle, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, or love, to get your needs met. And that's okay if you're meeting your needs in good, healthy ways. But if you're not meeting your needs in good, healthy ways, that's where it becomes a problem. That's where it becomes addiction. And you want more and more of it. And when you get it, it ultimately doesn't lead to the true fulfillment and feeling you're looking for. So what I find is that there are actually three telltale signs that you're a love addict. Now, the first one is that you feel that you can only be happy if you're in a relationship. Now, let's be real. Life is a lot more enjoyable when you have that someone special to share your life with. And the key word is special there. And so I always say a relationship is a lot like icing on the cake. You can't experience the greatest cake without icing. A cake on its own, it has to be good, but you cannot experience a total cake experience without the icing. And that's kind of how it works in a relationship. You know, love, a man, whatever it may be, is simply the icing on the cake. But the cake has to be good enough on its own. So you have to be at a point where you can be happy to be by yourself. That doesn't mean that you have a desire to, it doesn't mean that you don't have a desire to have a greater experience. But if you can't be happy on your own, that's a telltale sign that you're love addict. Now, the second one is that you don't want to be alone, okay? And because of that, what you do is you tend to do one of two things, is either you jump into relationships way too soon or you stay in relationships too long. If you jump into relationships too soon or stay in relationships way too long, that's a telltale sign that you're a love addict. And the third one, and this is probably the most important, just like any other addict, is that you start making excuses. When you're making excuses for why it's okay for the guy to be a jerk, treat you like crap, cheat on you, disrespect you, lie to you, whatever it may be, or you start making excuses that for his behavior, or you start saying that it's not that bad, it's going to get better, he was better in the beginning, it was better in the beginning, it's going to get better, I have faith. When you start using all that bullshit, that's a telltale sign that you're a love addict. Now, what's at the core of love addiction is simply this simple premise, and that is that your self-worth is designed by the presence of a relationship in your life. And you feel that being on your own isn't good enough. And so you need someone, you need love, you need a man, you need that presence in your life in order to feel good inside. So like any addiction, there's always something happening beneath the surface. And so today we talked about the superficial signs of love addiction, but we're also giving you what's really going on at the core, is that if you truly don't feel good about yourself, you feel unlovable, you feel not worthy, you feel not good enough, then that's going to cause you to jump into bad relationships, to get that addiction met, but it's never going to lead to the fulfillment you ultimately want. So my suggestion is, if that's your case, if that's what's going on for you, do your work, cover that up, get to the point in your life where you realize that, you know what, you're an awesome cake on your own, and even if you don't get the icing, you'll be okay. And once you get to that point, then you don't need a man, then you don't need a relationship, and that's when it shows up in your life. So I know this is an important video, maybe a little heavy, but it's really vital for those members of their GPS for Love community. So I want to hear from you. Go back and watch this video. Do any of the three signs ring true for you? If so, which ones? And more importantly, if you say, hey, you know what, Joe, I'm a love addict, then great. What are you going to do? What steps are you going to take to overcome that addiction, to own your awesomeness, so that you can be happy and content where you are and put yourself in a space to attract the kind of man, the icing, that you desire and deserve. So as always, honor, privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.